welcome to the show. It's Wrestling with Entertainment, the only audio experience on the web today, the trusted choice for interviewing all your favorite wrestlers every Tuesday and Wednesday, and previewing and reviewing the latest shows from WWE, New Japan, and AEW, and everything in between every Saturday on YouTube and Castbox, sponsored by Rogue Energy and Player One Coffee. I'm, of course, your host, James J., alongside Kaliko Yachts.
I mean, it's Mother's Day weekend, so I guess Happy Mother's Day to the mamas. I'm gonna be nice. Be nice this week. Unless we were just talking about the Intuit app, which I will rage out. I'll crash out over that. There you go.
Well, it was a good week for Wrestling Wit as we interviewed Buster on Tuesday and Meryl on Wednesday. Two incredible interviews, two great individuals. Definitely go into the archives and check those out if you haven't already. This upcoming Tuesday, we have La Katrina on the show, also from Germany. We talk matches against Jazzy Bolin, Jazzy Gilbert, I should say, Gigi Dolan, Melina, breaking her nose during the match, and then wrestling two other matches, having a soccer career before pro wrestling, and a hell of a lot more. And then this upcoming Wednesday, we have BMT, Brendan Michael Thomas, part of the Monarchy. We talk about the Monarchy tournament that's going on in Chaotic Wrestling, winning the Chaotic Tag Team Championships, coming back to pro wrestling after a 6-year hiatus. We also talk about friend of the show Cahagas, Eddie Kingston. We even talk about Or Nordum. He is a big Funko Pop collector and just a collector of memorabilia in general. So you definitely want to go check out that interview as well. But don't take my word for it. Here's some clips now.
And there was really a lot of blood running down my face, but I didn't realize it during the match. After the match, everybody comes to me, checks me. Oh shit, what's going on? What's going on with your nose? And they sent me to the doctors. Doctors checks my nose. Yeah, okay, it's fine, it's fine. The next day, we also had 2 shows. So it was Saturday 1 show, I broke my nose. Next day, Sunday, we had 2 shows. My trainer asked me, are you clear to wrestle? Can you wrestle? Yeah, sure, of course. And I wrestled another 2 matches with the broken nose. Also, I didn't know it yet. On Monday, I came to work. My nose was blown up. My eyes were blue. My boss told me, please go to the hospital, let they do the x-ray and get your nose checked. And it was actually broken in half.
Ooh.
Very comics, and I bought a bunch of Funko Pops, and I was like, and I knew about them, but my wife's always like, you're not going to get those things, they look silly, you're an adult. And I was like, well, if I have number 95 of the set, I got to get the other ones. And it went from like 1 to 2 pops to thousands of pops, thousands. Literally, I was smuggling pops into the house and my wife wouldn't see me. So like the toy community now, how it is, like, you know, I always get a kick out of when you see like when I would watch Matt Cardona's YouTube videos, and Chelsea would be like more toys. Yeah, that's how my life was. I literally would leave buy a crap load of pops, instantly regret it when I left because I'm like, my wife's gonna kill me. Leave it in the car, wake up at 3:30 in the morning, smuggle it into the house, and then she'd go upstairs because I had our entire 3rd floor of our house with my collection. She would say, this looks bigger than I remember. I said, I don't know what you're talking about. You're going crazy. You know, it looks the same to me.
And then on the 20th, we have The Real Drago, and on the 21st, we have Daniel Max Shaw. So check out Wrestling Wit as those interviews drop. Alright, now that we're done putting ourselves over, It's a great day for wrestling because we are wrestling with the news. And for anybody that doesn't know, we have a new pope, and he is Chicago made, the Pope of Personality, as some people are calling him.
Really?
Yes. Um, it already came out that he's a White Sox fan and a Cubs fan. And the the
That's blasphemy in itself. How can you be a fan of both? That's like saying you're a Mets and a Yankees.
I think he was more of a White Sox fan. But the internet, the wrestling internet community are dead set on finding out if he is a CM Punk fan or has seen CM Punk wrestle. Um, the timelines do kind of intersect, but he would be the very first pope to ever have seen pro wrestling. Maybe that's true. Thousands of years ago there was wrestling. Maybe not of the worked variety, but I digress.
Yeah, like Greco-Roman wrestling.
Right. Back in the good old days. When
Hey,
it
I
was,
wrestled in high school, freestyle.
when uh when wrestling was real, damn it.
That wrestling is real, damn it. Fuck all that. Ask Kurt Angle. Anyways.
So any thoughts on CM Pope, Chicago made Pope?
I knew that was coming. I felt that coming. So CM Pope is his name.
Yeah.
Got it.
Who knows? Maybe
That,
oh, continue.
I mean, they already talking about he won't even need security because they're gonna have a Jeep Wrangler with AR-15s strapped around it. I mean, the Chicago jokes are endless,
Who knows? Maybe.
and
Oh, continue.
I mean, I said he might be the first pope to actually like not be in because everybody else is like international, so soccer is the thing. He
Right.
might be the first pope to go to like to be at a Bears game. Like I swear, like I could see him going to like the Vatican with a Michael Jordan jersey on, like straight up.
I mean, yeah. Chicago's greatest son, Michael Jordan.
Thought it was CM Punk.
I mean, I feel like Michael.
Kanye West. If you got people thinking, it depends. Chicago got a lot of people. Derrick Rose, Evan, not Evan Turner. I think it is Evan Turner. Derrick Rose, Evan Turner, Kanye West, CM Punk. Uh, who else?
I feel
Who
like
else?
I feel it's Michael Jordan, CM Punk, and then literally everybody else.
Michael Jordan's not for Chicago.
But
Isaiah Thomas has
he played
more
for
of
the
a
Bulls.
claim for Chicago. He playing for the team and being of Chicago is two different things. Like Cody Rhodes is from Atlanta. You could tell he's from Atlanta. He is of Atlanta culture. You see what I'm saying? I mean, just because you got the jersey on, don't mean you playing on the team. You know what I'm saying? Ooh, that sounds. Ooh, bar. Just because you got the jersey on, don't mean you playing for the team.
But he did play for the team. He was the team.
I'm talking about the team of Chicago. You're thinking the team of the Chicago Bulls NBA.
Yes.
I'm talking about the team of Chicago in the streets. There's two different Chicagos we talk about, sir.
I gotcha.
like, prime example. As Michael Jordan may have been is beloved in Chicago. Isaiah Thomas, born and raised in Chicago, if that makes sense.
No, I gotcha. Well, I mean, there hasn't been a time in history where there was a more likelihood for a pope to attend a WWE event than ever before. So
Maybe he's at Survivor Series Chicago. Who knows?
I mean, yeah. I mean, if the stars align, if there's a show in Chicago and the Pope's there, who knows? Maybe we'll see the Pope in a CM Punk T-shirt.
I'm trying to figure out, can we use the Freedom of Information Act to gouge through his tickets collection? Like his ticket stubs. You know what I'm saying? That would be interesting. Because we never had an American Pope, which is crazy.
Very true. First American
So,
Pope.
He gonna be the first one. They'll be like, the World Cup. He gonna be like, what's that?
Go
He
Lakers.
might know WrestleMania. He might know WrestleMania before he knows, like, Messi. I don't know. You know, should be.
I mean, you might not be wrong about that. First Pope to go to the Super Bowl. First Pope at WrestleMania. The possibilities are endless.
I mean, if we see the Pope front row at Mania, it's a wrap. I mean, if I see the Pope at front row, it's a wrap. Sitting next to Jelly Roll at the
Oh, God. And the football player from the 49ers, what is his name?
Oh yeah, George Kittle. Sit next to Jelly Roll and George Kittle. Boy, people have a fucking field day.
I'll give George Kittle something. He's literally always there. Gotta hand it to that guy. He is
Bro, I'm gonna
truly
tell
a
you.
fan.
I can tell you right now. Every Mania I've been to. I've seen that dude there. He is 100%. Granted, they give him the ticket pro bono, but that mofo there.
He's taking them for sure.
He was there before all this, before they started doing the celebrity panham at the Mania. So yeah. Now he's about it. He's about it.
An OG, as we say.
And I got a photo with him. I mean, I need to share that photo. See, I'm gonna put it on I'm gonna put the cobwebs off my Twitter and then.
Well, somebody else dusting off the cobwebs is Shotzi Blackheart. She will not be renewing her contract when it comes up. Obviously, her contract is up sooner rather than later. We talked about all the releases last week on the show. A couple of more names were added to that. Most notably, Wolfgang and the Coffee Brothers. I liked Joe Coffey and his brother. And Wolfgang, I'm surprised he made it as long as he necessarily did. But yeah. What are your thoughts on, there was a couple more releases, but their names escape me, and, I mean, it wasn't less necessarily, this name is gonna set the world on fire, so to speak. But what are your thoughts, Shotzi Blackheart, and Wolfgang Coffee Brothers, leaving WWE?
I mean, with Shotzi, it's a little different because it's like she became she got married, right?
She got married, but I think you're confusing her with Ruby Riott.
No. Ruby is having a baby, right?
Yeah, and I think she's engaged as well.
Ruby's the one having a baby. Shotzi literally just got married. I think Shotzi probably itching to get back in the indie scene because it's as a lady, it's easy. I'm gonna say it's easier, but you can market yourself.
It's 100% easier.
As a female, I doubt it.
I disagree with that completely. It's 1,000% easier to market yourself on the indies as a female.
Okay, we'll see what Shayna Baszler does, and then Dakota Kai, and Katana Chance, and Kaden Carter, and we'll see what they do. There we go. How about that?
Well, I don't think Shayna Baszler anytime soon is getting OnlyFans, but the wide majority of the other ones.
Or Cora Jade. Poor Jade's on. Oh, she's on OL.
Yeah, she only
already.
got one. Yeah.
Damn, already?
Yeah, already.
Well, fuck these. She's like, fuck that.
Yeah.
Fuck these bumps. She's the Mandy Rose route. That's what it's gonna be called. The Mandy Rose Trail.
Well, that's what she be doing right now.
Hey, get it, girl. Get it, girl.
Yeah.
Get it, girl.
Honestly, I don't know what Katana Chance is gonna do. You know, obviously she was very well known in the Ninja Warrior route. So maybe she just opens a gym and continues that. But keep in mind, she's never been on the independents. She literally went from American Ninja Warrior to WWE.
True.
Her tag team partner was Indies, I know for sure. But I feel like Shotzi, and this is literally
Indies.
Huh?
She'll shine on the Indies.
I would say that she would more likely go to AEW. You know, I don't say this as a knock. I think she would shine there. I think she would do well there. And
With who? Because everything there is about showing tits, and chin up, tits out. Yeah, I don't see Shotzi being that kind of lady.
I mean, she's the ballsy badass. She got balls.
Yeah, you know how many motherfuckers in AEW got balls on that women's division?
And I mean, Billy Starks, you know, her protege is in AEW right now. So, I feel like it would make the most sense for her to go there. Wolfgang and the rest and the Coffee Bros, I think they're probably going back to England. Probably like a Rev Pro.
Yeah, easily. But I'm just saying, I mean, you got Abaddon there. Ballsy badass. Hello.
Abaddon has an OnlyFans.
Are you Jesus, take the wheel. Just take me now. Just take me now.
There's literally whatever you're into online, there's an OnlyFans girl for that.
Just leave me. Mercedes Martinez is still at AEW.
She is?
Yes.
When's the last time she had a match on AEW TV?
Point exactly.
I mean, it's funny you bring that up because, like, and Helico had a match on AEW a couple days ago, and I was like, this guy's still employed? And it was still, look, I mean, I'm not shitting on Helico here. But, like, it's been so long, like...
So many people, it's like milk cartons. It feels like America's Most Wanted. You just finding these people like, what?
Yeah, and then, what is his name? Zach Gowen, out of fucking nowhere, was on AEW TV. Did you see that?
Yeah, I mean, it's literally the island of misfits. But I do not want to hear ever again Abaddon who got an OnlyFans. Just let it roll. What?
Probably going back on the independents, but not getting an OnlyFans is Vincent and Dutch. What are they called? The Righteous. They actually asked for their releases from AEW, and it was granted. So I feel like they were misused and underutilized. They had a great aesthetic to them, but they never gave them what they could. They never fed the potential that could have been. I don't necessarily see them going to WWE. I mean, anything's possible, honestly, but maybe a TNA, but more than likely independence. No.
I mean, indie, you could. I don't think the indies is this dead end as people may think it is. I mean, Zack Ryder or Matt Cardona now is a pure example. I mean, the indies is what you make out of it.
And Matt Cardona makes a lot of money on the indies. You know,
I mean, but then again, he's everywhere. I mean, let's just make it honest. As far as an ex WWE person, he is the bar as far as like how to remarket yourself. Because I mean, at least with Cody had the backing of he had family heritage.
Cody Rhodes, the Rhodes.
I mean, Cody, but Cody had the heritage.
Yeah.
Zach didn't have none of that shit. He had to literally get out the mud. So that's why I say he's the bar.
You know, as much as I dislike, Matt Cardona, I do have to give him, props for, being successful on the indies. And, work, because he does work his ass off. He's literally fucking everywhere. That's time on flights, in the car, trains. Maybe he bikes some places. I don't know.
Planes, trains, and automobiles. That dude is like a
go.
Waffle House. He is on the corner of every indie wrestling show.
Yeah. So, it's as much work as you want to put into it. And, that guy wanted to put the work in. And, it's not exactly like, he doesn't have a personal life. I mean, he's married as well. I mean, to Chelsea Green, as everybody knows. Maybe you didn't know. Maybe this is the first time you've heard this. So, there's a lot of sacrifices there. And, when all of these guys and girls got, fired, he said, you could, be bitter about it. You can, just ride off of your WWE name, or you could just work your ass off, make a lot of money, and have a lot of fun. And, I mean, he is the antithesis of that last statement, no?
I mean, considering he had to literally reinvent himself. Yeah. Like I mean, it's at the point right now. It's the same with Cody. It's like when he gets signed, because I think he's going to go back eventually. But when he goes back, he's not going to be back as Zack Ryder. He's going to be in as Matt Cardona.
I disagree with him coming back. I don't think he's going to come back.
I mean, he'll come back for a year or two. I would. It would be WWE's mistake if they didn't take advantage of this persona of Matt Cardona, who, keep in mind, he was a heel, but he's never been as irritating as he is in the indies.
I disagree with him coming back and getting over. I don't think that he would get over if he came back.
I think he would.
It works on the indies. I don't know if it's gonna work on, back in WWE.
Well, if that's the case, then Cody wouldn't have came back. I mean, Cody left as Stardust, bro. He literally had to change his whole persona and came back as that persona.
But I mean, you're comparing apples and oranges here. Even you said, Cody, he had, the lineage. He had, the Rhodes name.
He had the lineage, but they weren't marketing him as the lineage, though.
No.
They marketed him as fucking... They didn't mention him being, like, Dusty's kid until they did the Authority angle.
But we could compare Cody Rhodes and Zack Ryder as much as we could, but he reinvented himself because he didn't know who he was as, a person.
Who? Cody?
Cody, yeah.
So does that. He could have. I mean, he easily could have left because I don't think WWE's out here copyrighting Zack Ryder.
I mean, at the time, they definitely would have. I mean, the Vince McMahon era? Hell yeah.
But that's my point. I mean, keep in mind, Cody couldn't use Rhodes. You had to use Cody.
That's right, for a long time.
That's my point. It's the same thing. Same concept.
Well, let's keep on people leaving. Tetsuya Naito had his last New Japan official match under contract a couple of days ago. It was an 8-man tag that featured Bushi, Shingo, and Hiromu versus Takamichi Nuku, Taichi, what is his name? Shota Umno, and one other guy I don't remember. And yeah, I think that this is, New Japan hasn't been New Japan for quite some time, but I feel like this was maybe the last nail in the coffin, if I'm being honest, for New Japan, for this era of New Japan, I should say. Well, obviously,
I wouldn't go that.
We're obviously in a new era, and
when Hiromu leaves, that's when we're in. Hiromu's still there. He's still keeping it going. But once he's gone, then it's over. But, and I get what you're talking about, the era where you had, like, the era of the stars that they had.
The Big Four. When guys like Nakamura left, you had somebody like Okada to replace him. When AJ Styles left, you had somebody like Naito to replace him. What? No, you had Kenny Omega to replace him. Yeah, there you go. Naito forced himself into the narrative, in that Big Four. They tried something with Kota Ibushi. It didn't work.
So you're saying the Big Four, sorry to interrupt. So your Big Four was Naito, Omega, Okada, and who's your four?
Well,
because when you say Big Four, I want the people to know what you mean.
Okay, so
the
original Big Four was Tanahashi, Okada, AJ Styles, and Nakamura. Then Nakamura and AJ Styles left. Naito and Omega took those spots.
Right.
Omega left. Jay White took that spot.
Really? Did he though?
Who would you say took Omega's spot?
I don't think nobody took. I think no one took it personally.
But
they had imposters, but no one could take the spot as like the most popular gaijin in Japan.
They tried to fit Ospreay in there. It didn't necessarily work.
People didn't like him.
Huh?
People didn't like him.
Yeah, and they tried Kota Ibushi, and that just went off like a wet fart.
His knee.
Huh?
The knee.
His knee, his shoulder, his ankle. Like
Rock'em Sock'em Robot. Mr. Potato Head, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. They even tried Sota Umno this year at Wrestle Kingdom, and the people just did not want him. Um, so I mean, I don't think that there really is a big four anymore. I would have said Tanahashi, Naito, or your big stars, but there's no big four. I don't really consider David Finlay, a really big star for New Japan. And I mean, Yoda Tsuji, he's going to be their biggest star in the future, 100%. But he's not there yet. Sota Uno, he has a more difficult route to get the people to like him. What is his name? It's not Yoramura.
Yonosuji?
No, Yoramura.
Yoramura.
He has potential, but it's been a while. It's been a hot minute since I've seen him wrestle. So I don't really know where he's on his wrestling journey. Sonata. Need I say more?
Sonata. God, no. No. No Sonata.
So, I mean, I like Goto. I'm not going to shit on Goto. But, when Goto is your world champion, it kind of tells you where your company is right now. And the main event of that show that Naito, had his last match was headlined by Goto versus Callan Newman. Yeah, so, I mean, that's where we're at in New Japan right now. We're giving Callan Newman a main event push. Now, I mean, it's just throwing shit at the wall to see what fits. I'm not mad at it. But, they tried to make new stars, and people aren't just necessarily accepting them. Would you agree with that or no?
Honestly, I think they just had this problem since. I think the biggest problem with New Japan in that regard was that they had the stars, but they were also doing intense storytelling with those stars. Right? So the storytelling for Naito was that nobody wanted him in the beginning anyway. So he literally pulled a Matt Cardona callback, reinvented himself. Reinvented himself and became like the Stone Cold. I mean, I think he's the Stone Cold Steve Austin of New Japan. The guy that just didn't care and whose antics were so off the wall. I mean, motherfucker tried to pawn the belt. He tried to pawn a belt he broke. I'm just saying, like.
And he did it before Matt Cardona, so we can't call it a Cardona if he did it before.
I mean, I'm just saying, but those things endeared himself to the people, and it fit into his character because of the fact that he could give a shit that people love him because of the fact that they didn't care for him in the first place. Omega in itself was just like, he was just the colonizer that became one of the people.
Right.
And that's very hard to do. Considering he immersed himself in the language, spoke the language, knew you know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
That's something you will never replace. Sonata, I mean, not Sonata, but Okada and Nakamura, they were the hometown stars that became larger than life figures. I mean, Nakamura was literally like the Michael Jackson of wrestling at that point, right?
Oh yeah, there was
guy could go and he was just, he had the dance moves and all the mannerisms. Okada was just a great wrestler, and people loved the fact that he was a great wrestler. Yeah, but even with all those things took time, and they invested into him, and they gave him the right character and the right storyline. and write stories to endear themselves to the people. And that to me is the missing element, because as you're trying to transition these people through, you usually use those people who are older or those big four to pivot and make those people stars. And they tried it with Jay White, and I was with Omega losing to Jay White before the exit, right?
Yeah.
And it worked to a certain extent. But he could never be that big Gaijin guy that everyone else could, even though he tried his ass off. Zack Sabre Jr. is getting close, but that took him having to join Suzuki Gun, being part of Minoru's group, and being kind of like this underling where people couldn't stand him, and now, you don't know what to make of him.
And I could just interject for a second. As much as we call, Jay White a gaijin, he was most certainly not a gaijin. He actually came up in the New Japan dojo. He was a young lion, around the ring. So, I mean,
Right.
as much as, he was, a foreigner, he was very much a New Japan guy. And they still didn't accept him.
I would say, because it was, I will say this: Japanese crowd, they're that intelligent. They'll pick up on who they like, and they can tell when people seem forced. I mean, look at Naito. Naito felt forced, and they were like, "Fuck it."
Oh yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where they're stuck. They're stuck not having a person that is organically getting with the people to get, you know what I'm saying, that is organic and authentic with the people, to the people want to ride with them through the end. They're trying to make the stars instead of letting the people dictate who could be that next star.
Later in the night, Yoda
Because if that's the case, and I'll say this,
Mhm.
because if that was the case, Hiromu would have been champion a long time ago.
And the thing about New Japan is they don't. They don't necessarily treat everybody fairly, if I'm being honest. The big four. Like I said, only those four people would ever be considered, New Japan, IWGP champion. Like no, like it would be a rare occasion where somebody outside of those four, would hold the championship. And they, there's always even for the Japanese wrestlers, there's a glass ceiling, and if they don't see you, in a certain way, then you're not gonna break through that ceiling. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And that's why, guys like Jay White and, Ospreay left. Low-key, I kind of feel like, if not New Japan, if AEW didn't become a thing, he would have, Omega would have stayed. But, I digress with that. It's just, they don't have those stars now. And like I said, during the last show that Naito was a part of, Yota Tsuji wrestled. Naito and the rest of LIJ came out to congratulate him. And Naito put Yota Tsuji in the front, kind of symbolizing, this is the guy. I mean, I hope that's true, but we'll see if that's the rope that's gonna get Yota Tsuji over.
They can try, but the problem is that He could be the guy, but my thing is that there's that guy Hiromu who's emotionally more attached to the people than he is.
I mean, very true, but don't
Which
you?
is weird that he's the leader and Hiromu's been OG for the longest.
At this point, yeah, he's the longest tenured member. But I really don't feel like there is an Lij anymore. If I'm being completely honest, it was Naito's baby. He said that there was no leaders, but he was the leader. um,
There
so,
was no leaders, but I think him and Hiromu were the leaders.
but Evil left, Sonata left, Bushi left. It's like the NWO without Hogan, Hall, and Nash. You know what I mean?
I mean, that 2.0 NWO.
Yeah. It doesn't work, unless, it's not going to be the same if it's not the originals.
I mean, I can see your point there.
So, I mean, maybe from the asses of Lij, something great will come about, but, we have to wait and see, I would suppose.
I mean, Sushi's a champ. He's the Gaijin champ, so, I mean, maybe, but I don't know. I just think if they had pulled that trigger on Hiromu would have been the guy.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
And that's, to me, the problem. Because I felt like that when Evil, let's say when Evil betrayed and won the title, and he fought Hiromu, had Hiromu won that match, totally different trajectory.
You're not wrong about that. That would have been a very interesting scenario if it, manifested.
And it would have been like Evolution when Randy Orton beat Chris Benoit.
I see your point.
The underling beat the guy who,
Yeah. I mean, we'll see. The G1 is coming up sooner rather than later, so it'll be interesting to see who's in it, who's not, who gets points. I feel like this is the most important G1 in recent memory because I feel like it is going to set us up to see
on who they're going to determine is going to be that guy.
Right.
Because at this point, this might be the most wide open G1 you'll ever see.
I mean, yeah. I mean, we could say the same thing about last year, but I didn't watch it because of the Olympics, and then I turn on New Japan. Zack fucking Sabre Jr. is your G1 winner, and I was like, what the fuck happened here? Was I smoking crack before I opened this new tab?
Like, give it to the white guy. No? Oh, wait. I mean, but Sushi's gonna more than likely he's walking in as the Gaijin champ, so I don't see it happening unless they're merging that belt.
Possibly. But
so it would have to be another person, which might be Shota.
Do you think that he's there yet, Shota?
It's not honestly, at this point, it's not a matter of fact of if he's there or not. It's a matter of fact of who else is going to do it? Who else is going to be it?
I feel it's your top three are Shota, Tsuchi, and Yoramura. Those are the three.
So like a little young core. But I mean, they're gonna have to. It's a lot of. That's a haul. 'Cause you got 3 people that people barely are getting to know.
I mean, Tsuji definitely came came in with the most hype. You know, literally his first match was an IWGP title match. And low key, you believe that he could have won that match. Um, but you know, the rest, you know, the people kind of decided they don't like Soda for whatever reason, and like I said, I haven't seen enough of Yoramura for me to say one way or the other. You know, are people getting behind him?
Maybe they pulled the trigger on Chase Owens or Hiromu.
Or maybe even Sonata.
Don't disappoint me like that. I mean, Kenny's there. He could come back for a nice little run. To get someone over.
Maybe it's Yoshihashi's year.
Oh fuck no! It'll never be Yoshi. Taka Michinoku has a better chance of winning the G1.
Well, something we didn't think was going to be a cold day in hell. Alberto Del Rio, if you believe in rumor and innuendo, has signed with WWE to continue as AAA champion. Um, from what I'm hearing, WWE, he's not going to make appearances on WWE TV. This is strictly, you know, he's the AAA champion. Um, you know, have to keep the champion employed for the time being. Um, you, I'm not gonna lie. I'm a little surprised that you know they signed him. You know, despite him being, you know, somewhat problematic. But I also understand, you know, if he's not going to be on the main roster, then you know he's strictly a Triple H wrestler. But I still feel like it's somewhat problematic, even you know then. But what are your thoughts on it?
What the fuck did Alberto Del Rio do?
He had domestic violence on his
Oh yeah,
girlfriend.
that part, the
Um,
DV.
not
Yeah, I totally
taped,
forgot.
and he apparently abducted and abused a child as well. Um, and I mean that's the
I
things we
do.
know about.
Because I was a little. I mean, I was thinking it was more politics enabled. I could see them not wanting to deal with him if all of that, like the DV part. But the question is, if he comes back, are they really going to bring that up with him? It's like Jeff Hardy. Like he goes to WWE, they don't bring up the fact that he was like a druggie. You know what I'm saying?
But okay, but keep in mind, you know, even despite Jeff Hardy's, issues, they still talked about him on WWE TV. You know, he's in the video packages. You know, it does kind of seem like Alberto Del Rio kind of got the Benoit treatment, where they kind of, you know, expunged him from, you know, their history.
Oh, because he wasn't in the top 50 WWE WrestleMania matches.
No, but I mean, like I said, somewhat of a problematic man.
Complicated men, indeed. I mean, yeah, it's complicated, but I mean, as long as they understand, they understand that, he understands that. I mean, that's all you can do.
I I get it, but I don't get it. Why would you want that bad PR? from, a problematic guy that's probably going to continue being problematic in the future.
Because they bought the company and he's the champion, and unless you're planning on influencing the political decision to off him as the champion, then you're kind of stuck with it.
You're not wrong.
And by that meaning is like, okay, if you bought AAA with the intention to defunct it and pull all the rosters, I could see your point, like of WCW. But if you're just buying it just to use it as like a farming system for the Latino stars, then why wouldn't you just keep them?
I get that. All right.
So like he's there, but he's not there.
All right. I think that will conclude our coverage of the news. And now a quick word from our sponsors.
But before that, Toru Yano's winning the G1. The DVDs go finally make.
Yeah, finally when he wins the G1, there's no more. They've discontinued DVDs.
I know.
Now a quick word from our sponsors. So,
Rogue Energy, the only gaming drink company in the world with 4 unique product lines to suit your task at hand, whether it be juices, shakes, smoothies, and everything else in between. Their low-calorie, no-sugar energy formula is the perfect alternative to sugar-filled canned energy drinks and sodas. Their extreme formula provides the most energy, focus, and sports performance possible. Their hydration line offers focus, ingredients without the added caffeine. Drink it anytime you're thirsty. And their shake formula is so delicious. Who doesn't love a cookies and cream, 0-calorie energy milkshake? First and foremost, they've designed every Rogue product line with performance and effectiveness in mind. It is critical that you look at the nutrition panels of drinks when comparing options. There are countless off-brands out there that are presenting low-quality, poorly dosed formulas that amount to expensive caffeine water. Every formula they produce is designed with optimal levels of high-quality ingredients. Additionally, you won't find a powdered gaming drink brand that dissolves better. No need to have chalky textures in your drink. Their taste profiles are unmatched, specifically designed for gamers, athletes, students, entrepreneurs, people with hectic schedules, individuals with low energy, podcasters who can't shut up, people who are health conscious, and so much more. Great as both a pre-workout and as a coffee energy drink replacement. Specifically designed every Rogue product line to be the best gaming drink on the planet. Rogue Energy, more focus, more wins.
use promo code WRESTLINGWITHE for 10% off your next purchase. And we are wrestling with WWE Backlash. It's a little later today, literally hours away as we speak. It takes place in St. Louis, Missouri, at the
St. Louis?
Yeah, St. ST.
Saint.
I don't think CM Punk's on this card. The Second City Saint.
Hey, man. That's Nelly's hometown. I mean, you've heard of Nelly.
If I wanted to ride with him, sure.
There you go.
I understood that reference. Enterprise Center, the tagline is one last time. But I'm sure that they're going to do it again. Weirdly enough, only 5 matches. I mean, it's what they've been doing, but I could have sworn like they had more matches planned for this show. And, charging as much as they're charging for these tickets, it won't kill them to put maybe like a 6 or 7 match on the card, but I digress. The card as a whole, what are your thoughts on it?
I mean, but that's the NXT formula. 5 matches, it gives them what, 5 matches, 2 hours, get 30 minutes of breathing time each match, 20 to 30. They get a time to tell a story. And I'm thinking there's going to be impromptus in it anyway, so I wouldn't dig into it too deep.
You think so?
It would have to be.
Well, let's get into the matches that are announced. We got Rey Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio defending the Intercontinental Championship against Penta El Zero Mero Octagon Pentagon All the Cons Penta
Hexagon.
Hexagon.
Nonagon. I'm a math guy. Trust me. I can go there.
Look at you with knowing all your guns.
I mean, hey, you know what I'm saying? Pentagon, hexagon, heptagon, octagon, nonagon. Hey, math came in handy for wrestling. Look at that.
Who wins the match?
The greatest Mysterio of all time. That's according to them. Dom.
Yeah.
Although I do see the jealousy coming in, though. Ooh, man.
You think that Balor's gonna backstab Dominic right out of the gate?
Nah, I think they're gonna save that for SummerSlam.
That would make more sense, I would say.
I see a Finn Dom SummerSlam Intercontinental for the Judgment Day coming. It's literally in the pike hole. It's literally a softball.
I mean, it kind of feels like Dom is getting over as a face now. So, yeah, it would make sense to maybe pull that trigger.
And Finn out there recruiting, doing some recruiting on the side. So, hey,
They could be Street Trash, as he wanted to rename the group. That's
nah, because that would be too close to the Damien angle.
Well, I mean, his name is Backstabber Balor. I mean, it's literally his name. So it's like Evil turning on Naito and not being able to see it coming. His name is literally Evil. You know what I mean?
I mean, true, but not yet. Not yet. That's slow burn.
Right. So Penta for the L.
I mean, he's already pinned him. What the fuck? It ain't like that didn't get pinned. He already got pinned by Dom. Well, what the fuck? A pin in Vegas is the same as a pin in St. Louis.
We had a fatal four-way match for the WWE United States Championship. We have Jacob Fuck You, La Knight, Damian Priest, and Drew McIntyre. Who wins?
Jacob Fatu is gonna killer combo every motherfucker in there. The question is just who takes the pin.
My question is, why is Damian Priest and Drew McIntyre in this match? You have two heavyweight, champions, former champions, going for a secondary title.
Gives them a reason to keep fighting, because I got a feeling that one of them two are gonna take the pin. Seems like Priest would take the pin due to McIntyre screwing him, and it keeps LA Knight saying you didn't pin me and I didn't get a one-on-one quote quote rematch, and going back, and so that way that'll keep going. So the match is serving two purposes at the same time.
I gotcha.
To me, it would be like, that's how my brain's looking at it. So like, Priest and Priest and McIntyre can keep kind of nudging without having to do an official match. And then Knight can keep going after the U.S. title that he lost but never got a one-on-one rematch.
Well, I mean, why is Drew McIntyre and Damian Priest still feuding at this point? I mean, he beat him in Vegas at WrestleMania. I mean, both guys need to go on to bigger and better things, in my opinion.
But that makes it. But according to the math, it makes it 1-1 because Priest pinned McIntyre at Chamber.
Well, if we're getting super technical about it, a Priest is 3 to Drew McIntyre's 1. You have
That's enough. Yeah, cash in. Yeah, it's honestly that was a year in the making.
Yeah.
That was a year in the making because, I mean, Drew's petty, and he got, you know what I'm saying?
He is not petty.
Was just,
he is justified, and he told that to your face, Kaliko.
That is true. He is very justified, and but he was so busy targeting Punk, and then he got after Punk, he went straight to Damian. Wait, no, Punk, Jay, Damian. He knows who he's chasing. It's just like he's just going after everybody.
That he is. All right. The most what's the word? Polarizing. The most polarizing match on the card. Pat McAfee versus Gunther. Personally, I like the idea of giving Pat McAfee a match against Gunther, but the internet wrestling community, being the internet wrestling community, has shit all over this. We hate Pat McAfee. You're killing Gunther. What the fuck's going on here? I think it's just good storytelling, and I think it's going to be a good match. And it's going to keep Gunther strong. If there's one thing that WWE does well is protect Gunther. So, I mean, he's not going to take a tap-out loss to Jey Uso at WrestleMania and then lose to Pat McAfee the next month. Not even the next month, like 2 weeks later. What say you, Kaliko?
Okay. So, let me get this straight. The internet wrestling community is mad because Gunther is not invoking his rematch clause only to lose to Jey Uso again. That's essentially what they're saying. Because that would be the only direction. I mean, that's the only path that would go, right? Because he's not, until the draft. And if he gets drafted, Gunther Cena? But I don't see them doing Gunther Cena. So
heel on heel.
Yeah. So I mean, honestly, I personally think this is Pat McAfee's funeral. And I'm gonna tell you right now, people, this is going to get the most eyeballs on Gunther that you've ever seen in your life. And I can only point to Exhibit A when Pat McAfee had that beef against the Undisputed Era and Adam Cole. And how hot was Adam Cole in the mainstream because he was fighting Pat McAfee?
I mean, yes. You could definitely say, Adam Cole got over wrestling, Pat McAfee. But could you say the same thing about Austin Theory?
Austin Theory did. I'll put it this way. Austin Theory got overshadowed by Vince McMahon. That match got, and I was there, that match got overshadowed Shadow by A, Vince McMahon, and B, Stone Cold. Them two coming out took more of the oxygen out the match than anything.
Okay, I could buy that.
So
I could agree with that.
Because it went from a theory. It went from a theory. But keep in mind, Theory lost, but then McMahon went in and started beating his ass. So I mean, it took the air out of it.
No,
But a guy like Gunther but a guy like Gunther who's going to put him at the St. Louis hospital for damn sure is going to be a bigger thing, because I can see and Pat McAfee's going to be the guy that bigs him up in the process too, because Pat McAfee could be the guy he's going to take that ass whooping. He's going to be gone for like a month and a half, and then he's going to come back like that motherfucker. Ooh. And I think that is what Gunther needs more than anything, because it's one thing for us to say that he's a monster heel in the wrestling community, quote unquote. It's a different scenario when he's being told that he's a monster heel on the Pat McAfee show on a ESPN globally televised TV show. Because that is where it's going to go. And if you don't think Pat McAfee has been bigging up his potential match against Gunther, you're smoking crack. So that's the whole point, is to make him to me, this is a way to make him a mainstream heel. And I have no qualms with it, because it gets him probably the biggest exposure that he's had in mainstream media, period.
I agree with that.
Period. No one, and that's something no one can argue with. If done correctly, this match, it will put him in that mainstream atmosphere of being a mainstream badass, to where it can propel him. Because, I mean, keep in mind, he won King of the Ring. No one gave a shit. People gave a shit, but they didn't give a shit. You know what I'm saying?
Right. He wasn't on the first Raw on Netflix, and he's the world champion.
Right.
That tells you like everything you need to know, honestly.
True. Also, if you look at the story, and this is the other thing I was thinking about a couple days ago. It was funny because I had this on my mind. The story of Gunther. I mean, yeah, go figure. But the story of Gunther is, what is the one thing Gunther hates more than anything in the world? It's being embarrassed or being seen as less class.
Being disrespected.
I mean, you could say disrespected, but I would say being regarded as less than.
Right.
Because his argument to Michael Cole was not the fact that he lost. The argument was how he spoke about him.
Right.
So that's his character. And that's the thing where people are like, oh, well, but that's the Achilles heel of him, because he perceives himself as a person who is an affluent student of the game, a guy who went to the right wrestling schools and been with the right things and does right. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He's been taught the best of the best, so therefore he considers himself the best of the best, which is why when he loses to someone like Jey Uso, who he considers less than him, it irks him. And then the fact that the commentary was kind of biased towards it rather than regarding him, in his eyes as the best of the best, it irks him.
Right.
He crashed out. Simple as that. And that's the story. I mean, my 41 years on Earth, I could see that coming. But he's gonna beat the shit out of fucking Pat McAfee. That you could bet your ass on that. I mean, McAfee's gonna get some offense, but Gunther about to fucking. Remember when Minoru Suzuki was supposed to face Orange Cassidy, and I said it was gonna be a funeral? That's exactly what the fuck should have happened right now. Because keep in mind, Gunther has not touched the ring since Mania 41.
Yes. So
he gonna put a fucking woodshed on his ass.
he's gonna give him those hands.
Oh, he's gonna get more than hand.
Yeah. So no, I agree with you. You know, there's a story. It's, you know, there's underlining themes here. You know, it makes sense. But, you know, if you're just looking at as, you know, Pat McAfee versus, you know, Gunther, you know, for no reason, cold open, then yeah, it's probably going to not make sense, and it's probably going to suck as well, a la AEW. But they put the story in place. We know why they're wrestling. You know, Pat had a banger of a promo last Monday. And you know, it gets you excited to see Pat McAfee's funeral. And
Yeah, if you hate Pat McAfee, this is the thing you want to see.
right. And you know, I like Pat McAfee, but I think one thing that's underrated about Pat is that he could sell. You know, he's good at selling. And I don't think that people, you know, give him that credit as much as, you know, they could. But yeah, I think that this is going to be a banger, in my opinion.
This could be the match of the night.
Depending on how it goes, yeah, it definitely could. Another match of the night, and we're both agreed. Gunther's winning the match. I don't think that there was a second.
Gunther's beating the piss out of him. Yeah, Gunther's beating the shit out of him. It ain't even fun. It not even fun. Not even close balls. Beating the brakes off of him.
Alright, then we have the Women's Intercontinental Championship match. Lara Valkyria versus Becky Lynch.
How dare you?
No, I love Becky.
Becky Hogan. Jesus Christ.
You know, people been shitting on Becky. People turned on fucking Becky Lynch. It tells you how, you know, assholian the internet wrestling community has gotten. Like, I
don't think they turned on her. They still love her ass.
I mean, they love her ass, but I mean, her personality and how they're booking her, you know, they're starting to turn on her. So
I don't see how.
I don't understand what either. Again, I'm ride or die Becky Lynch, but you know, they don't like Becky Lynch now. She's Becky Hogan. She's like Charlotte. You know, that don't work for me, brother. And literally, she did the most for women's wrestling in the last, what, like 20 years?
She did the most? I don't know about that, bro.
She did the most for women's wrestling.
It felt more like a 4-way group project. Personally, it was a group project, and everybody thinks it was a 4-way group project, and everybody except Bailey thinks they're fucking David Ruffin. Put it like that. Everybody thinking that they're the lead singer in the band, except Bailey, who's just like coasting along.
So, I think that this is maybe the most interesting match on the card, because I definitely don't know what's going to happen. I could see where it would make sense for them to give Becky the title, and have Lyra, you know, chase Becky. I could also see where, you know, they could go the route of Becky can't beat Lyra because she has yet to beat Lyra. there's also, the added, mystique of Becky has been shitting on Bailey for the last 3 weeks. Greatest promo of all time. She's so confused that she's paying $100 to talk to her best
To
friend.
text her best friend. Oh my god, that shit. She even fucking couldn't hold that in. I was like, bro, you just, that girl is fucking savage, bro.
Best fucking line ever.
Oh, the line of 2025. She's so confused. She's paying $99. Jesus Christ.
And you ask why Becky Lynch is their top women's wrestler.
She got a mouth on her.
Gee, I wonder why. Shit like that. But I could see that, Becky maybe has the advantage. Becky's maybe winning the match, and then Bailey comes out of nowhere, costs her the match. Her friend, after spending $99 to talk to her, told her to screw Becky Lynch.
I think, Lyra has been champion for what? 6 months?
5 months. She won it the week after the Netflix Raw.
Yes, I've been about 5 months. So I could see. I think Becky's going to win this title. I think it's going to set up Becky Bailey SummerSlam. Because that's the only one-on-one that has yet to happen on a grand scale, which is funny, you would think.
It's funny, they've wrestled at WrestleMania, just not in a singles match.
Right, but you've never seen these two iterations of them, where they're considered, honestly, pillars of the WWE. You've seen Charlotte Becky, you've seen Becky Bailey. No, you've seen Charlotte Becky, you've seen Charlotte Bailey, you've seen Becky Sasha, Sasha Charlotte, Sasha Bailey. You've just never seen Bailey Becky.
Right.
And that would be the ultimate tie up to that era. Does it need the title? No. But considering it, if Becky doesn't win it, I could see it as a triple threat heading into SummerSlam. Because it would be a belt that they both never held. Also, a loop in to that 4 horsewomen era.
I'll go one step further. Do you think that Becky could make it to October for a Hell in a Cell?
You barely make it to Hell in a Cell. If Sasha Bailey made it during the pandemic to Hell in a Cell, I think it could, given the right way they make them interact.
Also keep in mind, Bailey is.
My thing is this.
Bailey's not ready to compete right now, so it possibly.
Yeah. So it would be, honestly, it would just then be Becky Lyra feuding until, let's say, after Clash of Paris, and then Bailey coming back to get her revenge, and it starts at SummerSlam and it ends at Hell in a Cell.
Is Clash in Paris after SummerSlam or before SummerSlam?
I want to say it's before, but it could be after, if I'm not. But I would have thought it would have been before.
I'm well. I mean, either way, this doesn't feel like it's going to.
Oh no, it's after. You're right. It's in the same goddamn month. Jesus Christ. I ain't playing with this shit. Because SummerSlam's August 2nd. I do know that. August 1st and 2nd. Or 2nd, 3rd. One of them. Yeah, it's 1st and 2nd. So August 1st and 2nd is SummerSlam. And then 31st is Clash in Paris. So
what you're saying is they got time to cook.
They got time to cook it. I mean, I would think, given that Bayley's been the most consistent. Is she always over? I think, is she always over? Because people are more attuned to her as a face with the hugger gimmick than what she is now, right?
Yeah.
So it's a weird adjustment to be a face with the de-shedding of that hugger gimmick. Becky, shit, it didn't matter. They just loved her because they loved her.
She's heel right now, and people still love her.
You remember she squashed fucking Bianca, and they still fucking couldn't do her.
I was cheering for Becky.
Black internet was not having it, but that's a whole different story.
If people, go back to the interview that Bayley did to say, she didn't connect with the she wasn't connecting with the fans. She never felt like she was as big as Charlotte and Becky. And she hasn't. She's not as big as Charlotte and Becky. That's not news to anybody. But low key, I feel like that interview was a walk to get to where we are right now. Obviously Bayley wasn't in, the actual storylines, but people are referencing that interview, right now for everything that's going on in WWE right now with Becky. So I feel like this is that interview. Bayley was what's the word? Aware, that this was going to be something that was going to be turned into a rivalry, after it was said and done. You know what I mean?
That could be the case, but that also could be her MO, though. Just keep in mind, she hasn't been. One can argue that even though she hasn't had the number of reigns that each of those had, she had a better reign than any of those girls have had.
True. I'm definitely not shitting on Bayley. I love Bayley, but
no. We're not shitting on Bayley, but we're just saying in the sense of as much those were, how can I say it? It's like stars, right? Like stars. The ones that are the brightest always crash out the fastest. The ones that are not as bright are always consistent. And I think Bayley in this group wasn't the brightest star. However, she was the most consistent in the arc of her character. She was able to evolve in different phases. Like Charlotte has yet to evolve. Sasha never evolved. Charlotte and Sasha are literally one and 1A. They never evolved their character.
They stayed as Eevees.
Right. Becky, the only difference is her mood. Honestly. Seriously. If she is being happy, she's got the leather jacket on and she's fucking man of the people. pun intended. But when she's a heel, she's Lady Gaga. That's it. Like all this, like Seth Rollins, Mrs. Seth Rollins. She's literally just with the clothes. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, that's
So,
that's definitely an interesting way to look at it, and you would be very accurate in your descriptions.
but Bailey has had to go. She had to de-shed something, right? The thing that people attach to her the most, she had to get rid of it and create a new persona to where she seems like a Karen in a sense. And she did a fucking such a good job that now as a face, it's hard to connect that, if you will.
Right.
So that's why I say she's the most consistent, because she's the one that had to consistently evolve her character.
And she's at a bit of a stump in the evolution right now.
It's a stump because it's in the sense that here's my perspective. Bailey was just a persona. What she is now with Damage Control and On was her.
Yes.
And and that is the issue there, right? Like she's a better heel than a face, obviously. But the problem is that they put her in that. And that story panned out perfectly. The problem was after the story.
Right.
After the story, then what? And that is where she's stuck. Now, Becky and them are always going to be there because their personas are always going to be there. But they really weren't asked to evolve on the main roster, at least as much as Bailey.
It's a weird thing to say, but out of the four horsewomen, it seems like Bailey was the only one to be in jeopardy of being cut.
Which, it makes sense, although she had the best boom bust potential.
Right. At the very beginning, Becky, and I'm not being fair here, Becky she almost got cut at one point, like in 2016. But Sasha...
Yeah, Becky Dalbo?
Yeah. Sasha and Charlotte were never considered to be cut. And the only reason Sasha isn't there is because she left, not because she was cut.
Right.
And, while Charlotte, yeah, I agree with you. Sasha has not changed one bit since, her NXT days. Charlotte low-key has evolved in different ways, but, not to the degree that,
she evolved like her father, that's for sure.
that is correct. Becky didn't need to evolve. She was the man, and she took the up.
No, she evolved. So she went from she evolved a little bit. She evolved more I would say this, she evolved more in NXT than she did the main roster.
Well, no.
That's what I'm saying.
What I'm trying to say is, when she got the man gimmick, she didn't need to evolve anymore. She had it made. She was the man, people loved her, and she didn't need to do a lot to get over anymore. But
people loved her anyway. That's the issue. People were behind her she had this, like I said, she had that Daniel Bryan following. The man gimmick just exacerbated what was already there.
But she opted to become a heel and become big-time Bex. And low-key, that was a really underrated run, if I'm being completely honest. I think big-time Bex, did a lot of good for the women's division. And, it could have went a lot worse for Becky, if she, left her comfortability zone as the man to be big time Bex, but it still got over. And then, you know, obviously, time to turn face again. She's the man again, and now, you know, it's the right time for her to be the antagonist. She's big times backs again. So, you know, there's definitely that evolution, but, you know, like, it's 100% like you said, nobody made such a drastic, you know,
Shit.
a character change than Bailey, for sure. But getting back to the match, I think it's either going to be double count out or Bailey screws her. That's what I'm going to go with. But I don't see Lara is going to lose the belt. What say you, Kaliko?
I mean, I can see Becky winning it because like I always tell you, a heel turn needs the payoff.
But
You don't just do this for the hell of it. You do it because you're expecting an outcome.
I mean, the tag titles was the payoff.
No, the tag titles was not the payoff. The tag titles were just used as a pawn to begin this justification to get to a payoff.
But then it's just Lyra chasing Becky.
She's gonna have to chase her regardless, because you're chasing the person you looked up to the most. See, this is that she's gonna be Cody. This is the Cody Cena shit all over again. I'm telling you, Becky's winning, bro. I think Becky's gonna win.
Alright. So you're saying clean, well, not maybe not a clean win, but a win, a W.
Not a clean win. It will not be clean. That it will not be clean. It's gonna be some. I think Becky's gonna pull some shenanigans, or Bailey's gonna try to come back to right or wrong, and therefore she fucks over Lyra in the process. That's where I'm looking at this, because Bailey's not hurt.
Bailey's hurt.
No, she's not. They would have listed her on the injury list if they knew she was hurt.
From what I heard, she had a shoulder injury or something. She'd be out for like 6 months.
They named all the timelines of everybody else that was coming back. Bailey was not on that list, bro.
Okay, so okay. So this might be going a lot longer than we first anticipated. Okay, I'm digging it. All right. So you're Bailey.
Shout out to Bailey though. I love Bailey. I just love her consistency.
Cut and dry. Becky wins the title.
I think Becky wins.
I say Smart's finish. Lyra retains. Alright, and that brings us to the undisputed WWE title match. John Cena versus Randy Orton for the second to the last time.
the one last time match that's gonna happen 30 times.
Yeah. Gotta sell something on the house shows.
Well, at least they're what house shows? I don't think they do house shows like that anymore.
I'm joking.
Not as much as they used to. Shit.
I'm joking.
Now, if you said OVW, then we own.
Do we even need to say it? John Cena for the win?
I mean, someone kept showing a video, and it was Cena, Orton, and Cena slapped the ref. Oh no, Orton slapped the referee to get disqualified on purpose.
Yeah.
I feel like some shit like that would. Because Orton is the person that can take a but it would be one hell of a callback. I ain't gonna lie to you. And it keeps Orton chasing him at least until, you know what I'm saying? That would be the reason you would have the one last time 3 times in a row.
But I don't think that there's another a match here. I think this, uh, like seriously speaking, I don't see where this is going to continue.
I mean, who's gonna face? I mean, who's seen is gonna face some Money in the Bank?
Um, there's low-key talk about CM Punk wrestling him. Call back to 2011.
Oh my God! That would require CM Punk getting drafted to SmackDown.
I mean, that really doesn't matter. Randy Orton wrestled Gunther when he was on SmackDown and he was Raw. So
But Randy Orton is Randy Orton. He can do what the fuck he wants. That's a different scenario.
do you understand that the Pope is from Chicago? The Pope could say, "Let it be," and CM Punk is on SmackDown, and it'll happen.
CM Pope ain't gonna run shit in LA. I'm just letting you know that right now. Keep that shit in Chicago.
But low-key,
That shit.
CM Punk and John Cena had their best matches in LA, if I'm being completely honest. And you can't say no because you were in those at those shows too.
Yes, we were, but that ain't got nothing. No, the 2011 match was I mean, that's the only one Meltzer gave 5 stars.
He gave that match 5
For
stars?
for the WWE in the last 10 years. From that match was the last match, and it took them 10 years to get another one. Just saying. Although that would be a cool callback. As much as I would love a CM Punk, John Cena, Money in the Bank rematch 14 years later, I don't see that happening because CM Punk and Roman Reigns are going to be stuck with Seth Rollins.
Right.
So that's why I say, sorry, Pope. Punk got other shit to carry.
How dare you disrespect our Pope?
I'm not disrespecting the Pope. I'm just calling a spade a spade. Cena wins. I think it's gonna be some nefarious DQ shit because I could see Cena at this point being that guy. And you know what's funny? Quick sidebar. You remember that match you poo-pooed on, which was the John Cena Bray Wyatt match?
The Firefly Funhouse.
Yes.
Yeah.
How much is that shit is true right now?
What do you mean?
Because it was funny. It was a breakdown of the match about how Cena's persona started as a heel and people liked him so much that he became a face, but he never became a heel, or he never became a heel because being a face was giving him the one thing that he cared about, which was winning. All he cared about was winning. Whether it was a heel or a face, he was afraid of failure. That was the whole point of the match. Or that was the whole point of the match. It was basically Bray Wyatt going, you're not a hero. You're a bully who just is pretending to be a hero because you hate the fear of failure. And you need to embrace the person that you are. And Cena literally took all these L's and he had to embrace the person who he was, i.e. selling his soul minus the wrong. That should never happened. But now he's the person that he feels more comfortable with. Hence why this promo that he's saying that he's a victim of abuse and shit literally is coinciding with everything what Bray was saying. Even beyond the grave, Bray Wyatt is fucking putting gems out this bitch, and I can't be more proud.
Low key, and I know that this might be a stretch. Do you think that we might get a John Cena versus Uncle Howdy match?
If they, both cleared. It's just a matter of, Nah, not yet. I don't think it's gonna happen because I think Cena's gonna want considering this is his last go. I mean, I could see him doing an Uncle Howdy, but the problem is that uh, it would have to be something him proving himself right against Uncle Howdy, and how would you incorporate that? Because if it was Bray, I would have been like, hell yeah. If Bray was here, hell yeah, it would have been that because I could totally see Bray going to him and saying, I knew that you were this the whole time. That's why I wish Bray was here.
But you could do that with Howdy. You know,
And how'd he go get that ass beat? That's
well, I mean, I don't think anybody's expecting Howdy to win, but I don't think anybody is expecting John Cena to lose at this point.
I don't think he's
not going to win the title at WrestleMania and then drop it a couple months later. This is going until at least
SummerSlam minimum. I say SummerSlam minimum.
I agree with that. Possibly
maximum Boston, but
well, Boston is the last stop, if I'm not mistaken.
That's my point. That's why I said SummerSlam minimum, Boston maximum.
So literally December, the ending of the year, his last match.
Because Cody's laying low. Cody's gonna. I told you, the only person that's gonna get this get back is Cody. Y'all may not like it, but he's gonna be the motherfucker getting the get back.
I mean, I would like to say, yeah, you're right about that.
No, that's who it is.
But then
Cody get his leg back.
But in the same breath, The Rock. You know what I mean?
Fuck The Rock. No. We're not talking The Rock. Cody getting the get back. Cody's gonna find himself somewhere in the Himalayas. Or no, he's gonna find himself at the Waffle House in College Park on Old National, and then he gonna bring his ass back and whoop that ass. See, that's how I know exactly. Especially the one that's not the one, because there's two Waffle Houses on Old National. There's one that's like there's one on one side of the bridge, and then there's one on the other side of the bridge. But I want the one on the other side of 85, on the east side, on the west side of 85 near the hood. Not the one on the east side of 85 where there's white folks. So yeah, he gonna go to the Waffle House right there in the hood in College Park on Old National Highway and find himself and come back and get that ass.
Well, you heard it here first. Until then, John Cena beats Randy Orton in this match.
Beat is a strong word. I think he's going to walk out with the title. I don't know if he's going to beat him.
Will he win?
I mean, he could lose and still fucking walk out with the title. Will he pin Orton in St. Louis? WWE logic, you take the pin in your hometown, which, yes, that's an 85%. But I see that 15 where Randy Orton wins by DQ and fucking Cena and walks out.
All right. Well, I'm going with no.
Either way, he's walking out with the title. It's just a back.
Yeah.
Either scenario, he ain't dropping the belt.
All right. Well, I mean, I agree. See, John Cena takes the W. I don't think Randy Orton's going to win, even if it's by like disqualification or count out. So,
watch he slaps the referee and walks out. I'm just gonna.
How about this? You want to talk about a fucking callback? John Cena distracts the referee. John Cena Sr. comes out of nowhere and punts Randy Orton.
That would be. That would just have to set up a tag match because that would be John Cena versus the Ordens versus the Cenas. That's basically Happy on McCoy 2.0.
Dude, if we didn't get that in 2007, what makes you think we're getting it in 2025?
Because John Cena Jr. he no yob.
John Cena in 2007 no yob. How many times did John Cena yob in 2007?
I mean, John Cena Jr. yob, no yob, but John Cena Jr. really ain't yobbing.
Yeah, John Cena Sr. definitely not yobbing.
See? So that ain't happening unless Orton taking the yob.
Orton's taking the yob.
That's the only way that would happen.
Well,
But that would be a cool callback to the Cowboy Bob in Senior C. That would be fucking awesome.
well, all will be revealed later today. That'll conclude our coverage of WWE Backlash.
Or maybe Ted DiBiase Jr. brings his ass out. Who knows?
Oh,
Legacy
God, no.
reunion. Hey.
From Orton bailed him out.
I mean, from a legacy reunion. Maybe Tony goes on with the legacy reunion.
Well, I mean, last time I checked, Ted DiBiase Jr. was in a lot of illegal hot water, so I think that's less likely.
Trying to fuck over Mississippi, boy. You better chill out. Anyways. They may be slow, but they ain't that slow. But anyway.
That will conclude our coverage of.
I love y'all, Mississippi. I ain't mean.
That will conclude our coverage of WWE Backlash. Thank you for listening. If you like what we're doing, please like, subscribe, comment, both on YouTube and Castbox. Join us next Saturday as we review all of the shit that we just previewed. Join us this Tuesday as we interview La Katrina, this Wednesday as we interview BMT, and every Tuesday and Wednesday for new incredible interviews, and follow the show at Wrestling with E, both on X, Thread, and Instagram for information on who we're interviewing, when we're interviewing them, links to those interviews, and so much more. Follow me personally at JamesJ993. Where can we find Kaliko?
In LA, Money in the Bank, June 7th. I'm gonna bring my briefcase. I'm gonna start cashing in on fools in the in the parking lot. We're gonna see if that works hypothetically. That's what we should do. See, we got to talk offline. Live cash-ins at Money in the Bank. Oh Lord.
For Kaliko Yachts and Scooter Dust, I'm James J, and this has been Wrestling with Entertainment.
And it's not really like a briefcase. It's more like the lunchbox. See, that's even better because it's like a metal. So I can slap them with the metal and then cash in. And then, you know what I'm saying? And then, cash in and then have a sandwich while I'm cashing in. That's what I think. Some Capri Suns and Prime. I'm going to fill it with Prime. There it is. Lunchbox full of Prime.
Sponsor us,
slap the shit out of it. Yeah, slap the shit out of it. Slap the shit out of them with a briefcase full of Prime.
Oh my god.
Knockout power. See that?
Hey folks, this is the Colossal Mike Law, and you are listening to Wrestling with Entertainment. Enjoy the show, support these guys. We appreciate it very much. We'll see you at ringside.